How's it going, guys? I get asked a lot on my keybinds and settings, so I decided to make a guide on it. Unfortunately, my KPM dropped from a 5.2 to a 4.9. I'm sorry, guys, I let you down. I was sniping a little bit too much and messing around, and my KPM did not like that. But hopefully, I'll be able to get it back up again. But anyways, let's go to the settings. All right, we'll start with the gameplay, and everything here is turned on. It's all standard. Nothing's changed. Hit marker is enabled, obviously. Headshot marker, I don't know if this is normally yellow, but I keep on yellow because it looks good, I think, when I hit headshots. This is all pretty standard. Show level progression, this is actually new implemented in the game, but it shows up as a little XP bar on the bottom of your screen when you're in combat, or when you load in, or I guess when you spawn in the battlefield. I turned this off because it's just visual clutter. I don't want anything cluttered on my screen. I was thinking of turning off the show squad list as well, but I don't know. I find that it's pretty useful, especially helps me to realize sooner that, if my squad is dead, I can just hop squads. I like sorting my score just cause. Yeah, just cause. Yes. So for the icon sizes, I turned all of them down to 0.7. I feel like this is a good balance between actually able to see allies, being able to see the little marker above them and see that they're an ally. But they're also not big enough that I think an enemy is an ally when I have an ally marker halfway across the map. I think Oki should really change that. I think there should really be like a set distance on when ally markers show up, because it's really annoying. I keep thinking enemies are actually my allies when they're not. So I turned them down to 0.7 for all of them. Friendly name tag size, I turned this down to an 8 as well for the same reason. I don't want too much clutter on my screen, so I make the name smaller. And show FPS, I don't have that on because Steam already has its FPS counter. This part here is very important. The flag size, or everything that has to do with the flags. The size, I turned it down. Opacity, I turned it down. Non-target flag opacity, I also turned that all the way down. The reason why I turned these down is because it just blocks my view way too often. And also, you play a map like 3 times and you already know where the flags are, so it's really not too important to see on your screen, like, halfway across the map, blocking your screen, blocking the enemies. So just turn this all the way down, and I highly recommend you do the same after you get a good grasp of the maps. Crosshair size, I turn this to 125 just so I can hip fire better. Honestly, you can solve this if you have some sort of crosshair overlay. I know I really should get one, but I'm lazy, so here's the crosshair size. Show key bindings, all these, show button to help friendlies. I turned all of this off. Maybe it's useful for you in the beginning just so you know the keybinds, but once you get a good grip on your keybinds, I recommend you turn these off because it's just more clutter. It'll confuse you. I enable chat like a normal person. And I think I turned these down a little bit as well, just so, again, less clutter, free up my screen. And that's about it. That's all that changes. For the map, I haven't changed anything. Okay, now let's go into controls. Dark Shadow climbing, I think this is pretty good to have, so turn it on. Toggle lean, this is completely up to you if you like to toggle your lean or not. I personally am horrendous at leaning, so I don't really mess with it too much. Toggle aim, I'm a normal person, so I use hold. Toggle dragging, honestly, this is very up to you. If you like reviving people a lot, I recommend you turn this off and you have a double key binding where drag and revives is the same button, and that way you can just hold the drag button and also revive allies at the same time. That tip was actually found on Decimal's YouTube video, his 15 tips and tricks. Go check that out if you haven't watched it. It's really useful. He's a really good player, and I'm sure you'll learn a lot. Toggle sprint, obviously not. Oh, and here is the reload style that I mentioned in a previous video. You can change this up if you like. Change the tactical to hold if you like, and the drop to 1 tap. You can also do 2 tap if you like, but honestly, I just do hold. I feel like it's the most simple and the most natural to me, so I didn't mess with it. This is my sensitivity. Obviously, everyone's going to be different. I play on 800 DPI and 120 cents. It's pretty high. I really should turn it down. My wrist is hurting a lot nowadays, and that's why I really don't recommend you do the same. If you have the desk space, I highly, highly recommend you go lower than this. As an aim down sight, also 120. I think that's just to keep it, the same ratio. And for all these, keep it 100. Don't want to mess with any of these; it'll be weird. So we just go back. It doesn't say changes because I changed them around to show you, but these are how it is. Key bindings. All very normal stuff, very standard. WASD, sprint, prone is Z, that's normal. Don't toggle crouch. I don't know why you toggle crouch in this game. Here's very important. The lean left, I put it on E, and lean right, I put on Q. So I actually swapped them. The reason being is, I find it difficult to hit Q and A at the same time to move left and lean left, and the same goes for E and D. So moving right and leaning right at the same time is very difficult. That's a good movement tech, kind of. Would you even call that a tech? Well, it's good in either case. It's good to do that, but I struggle doing it normally with Q and A, so that's why I do A and E to move left and lean left, and then D and Q to move right and lean right. And it's a lot. I find it a lot easier because I can use my index finger and my ring finger instead of just mashing two buttons at the same time, and sometimes you don't both go down, so it's a little bit weird. Another thing, vault and jump, very, very important. You have these on two different keybinds. I recommend space for jump. If you come from CS or whatnot, you can use scroll wheel, but vault, you really need to have this on a different keybind. And the reason being is a lot of times you want to jump over something, but you don't want to vault it. Vaulting is pretty slow in this game. It's really annoying, and you don't want to be caught with your pants down vaulting a window when you can just jump crouch over it. Or maybe just jump. You wouldn't even need to crouch a lot of times. So you don't want to needlessly vault things. So I recommend you bind this to a different key. Free look, I never use this. I don't know what the point of that is. And drag players is F. In this drag players, you can also have a second keybind here, which would be the same button as your bandage button. And that way you can just hold 3 to bandage someone and also drag them at the same time. Drone movement. Honestly, in all 300 hours of my gameplay, about 300 hours, I haven't touched this at all. So I just don't use drones. I think it's just not my playstyle. But yeah, it's just not my playstyle, so I haven't touched this. Equipment night vision, I put on N. I guess it just makes sense. N for night vision. I've debated changing this actually to somewhere more out of the way because I like to open my map a lot, and N is right beside, and M's in an awkward position, so sometimes I hit M and accidentally hit N, so yeah, maybe in the future I'll rebind this. If you also have that issue, you could probably use a different button that's way out of the way, so you just hit it once on the start of the match and you just forget about it. This is all very normal stuff. Shoot and aim down sight. I don't think we need to talk about this. Reload R, combine mags. I don't bother combining mags. I think one of the best skills you can have in this game is making full use of each mag. You shoot until there's only a couple bullets left, not completely empty the mag, because that will make you do a long reload where you gotta pull back the thingy-majiggy, and that slows you down. You don't want that. So combine mags, it's not really useful. Just get good at making the full use of your mags, and then just holding R and dropping your mag and chucking it out. You can also pick it back up later if you want, which would be another double key binding, courtesy of Decimal again, his big brain. Magazine check, completely useless unless you're a male summer and you like how it looks. Yeah, well, sadly I'm not a male summer, so I don't have this binded. I think it's pretty useless. Safety mode, also useless. Another male summer thing. Laser on and off, T. This is actually pretty useful during night maps because your laser is pretty damn visible, and if you want to be sneaky breaky in the night maps, you can turn off your laser, or you can just unequip it. But if you're really lazy, you can have the laser on and off. Honestly, it's better to just unequip it because every time you die and respawn, your laser will be on again, and you have to turn it off, and it's so annoying. So, I guess you can unbind this if you like, it's not too important. Flare switching, I think this is like the thermal stuff. I don't really use thermal sights at all, so I don't know I have no idea what this is. Loadout, switch next weapon, previous weapon. I just use the, the number keys like regular person. So I don't have these. I think this is pretty useless and it just throws you off. Primary 1, secondary 2, first aid 3, C4 4, C4 4. C, and then, heal kit 5, throwable. That's your grenade. I like to put this on my mouse because I don't want to reach for G. When I hit G, I also hit a bunch of other random buttons like F and R, and I'm terrible like that, so I put this on the thumb mouse button, M4. Interact, F, and here's double key binding. There you go, R. Yeah, when you reload your gun, you'll drop your mag, and you can continue holding R, looking at your mag on the ground to pick it back up. And this is what this second keybind does. Very useful, saves you a ton of time, and it'll take a little bit of getting used to, but I highly recommend it. It's very efficient. Throw gadget, you can just keep it as X. It's pretty out of the way, hard to hit it by accident, I think. I mean, throwing gadget, it's not really important as a medic, but if you play support and you want to actually be a good person, this is really good. Please drop your ammo. Like, we need that shit. Cut rope, useless. Push, useless. Drop cash, useless. Build, it doesn't really matter. Keep it as F, it's fine. Unbuild, I think this used to be caps lock, but I have a way better key binding for caps lock, so I unbinded it. And also, I'm not a construction player. I don't build random stuff and unbuild random stuff, so I just took this off. Repair K, like, same story. I just left it as is. I don't even know what this does. Open social tab, home. See, this is actually something that a lot of people don't know. If you want to open this tab on your right, in game, you hit the home button. If you have it on keyboard, hopefully you do. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but you can hit this home button, or you can rebind if you like, but hit home button and you can, manage your parties and stuff. Chat, Y, this is all standard stuff. I didn't change any of it. Very normal, very normal. Map, very normal. Hide UI. I mean, if you want to take cool screenshots, make sure you have this bound to something. I have it on minus because it just makes sense to me. Minus to minus the UI. I don't know. And here's the cast lock, the way more important keybang that I mentioned before. Squad leader menu. This is kind of vague on what it is, but when you hold middle mouse button, you can build stuff. Like you can put down the rally points, HESCO barriers, stuff like that. Instead of holding middle mouse, it's kind of annoying. I just put this to caps lock, and seems to work fine. Vehicles, engines on and off. I don't remember what this key used to be, but then I put it on F when my interact was on E, but now my interact is on F, so I put this on E. I don't really know. Just leave it normal how it was. I don't remember the normal button anymore, but it's fine, I'm not a vehicle player, so this is not the guide you want to look for if you're looking for vehicle keybinds. So we're just going to skip all this vehicle stuff. Yeah, that's about it. Audio, honestly, I just put this on 10%. And I lowered the voice chat sound a little bit just because some people play obnoxiously loud music because they think they're cool or something. I don't really know why they do that. I don't understand it myself. Death microphone, I turned this off because I don't want to be saying some crazy shit, Well, okay, I don't say crazy shit, but I just don't want to be swearing at people needlessly, So I have this off. If I want to talk to them, if I want to swear, I just hold V. I'll do it intentionally. Yeah, pretty normal stuff. Okay, video. I play on potato graphics because I really need the frames. My 1070 and i7-7700K really struggles to get a consistent 144. In fact, it never does, but I'm doing my best. My computer's doing its best to get me those frames, and that's why I do potato. Field of view, I mean, it's a block game too, right? Come on, you're not playing this game for the graphics, but okay, anyways. Field of view, 103. Anything more than that for me feels kind of... Why is this? What's going on? Anyways, field of view, 103. Anything more than that feels like a fisheye effect, and I don't really like that, so I just keep on 103. Vehicle field of view, again, I'm not a vehicle player, so I haven't touched this. Screen shake, I put this to 0, and unless you want a really immersive PTSD experience, I recommend you do the same. Again, this is literally the lowest it can go. You can see the arrows, and my game is bugging out. Yikes. Motion blur, absolutely turn this off. You do not want that if you want to frag. And there you go. That wraps up my keybinds and settings guide. I hope this helped. I mean, once you get more familiar with the game, I think you should try exploring your own keybinds and your own settings and see what fits you. But I really don't like visual clutter, so, you know, I turned down a lot of the opacity for the flags and stuff, just so I don't have it in my screen. I hope in the future there's going to be an option to not see flags, you know, 3 miles away, or see enemy markers through walls 3 miles away. And yeah, that is it. Check out my other guides if you want to learn some more. Like and subscribe, comment. Let me know what you want to see next. I don't really know what else to say, so goodbye.